This is the most OP Paladin build you'll ever need in Baldur's Gate 3. So let us begin. We are going with Paladin as our starting class. And we will start with the Oath of Vengeance. This gives us Inquisitor's Might. You and an ally's weapon attack do an additional 2 radiant damage and can daze enemies for 1 turn. And we get the Oath of Vengeance Tenants. As I was saying, these are your stat arrays. We are wanting to look at something like this. I would personally probably bump this down to 10, maybe even 8, and take this to 15, something along those lines. Same with Wisdom. You could really bump this down if you wanted to, but you might not. But I would do something along this to make yourself a bit tanky. Proficiencies, again, really up to you. I think Intimidation Persuasion, because you are going to have high Charisma being a Paladin, might be your best bets here. Okay, for level 2, we are going to stick with Paladin. We have access to our Divine Smites. Now this is the main part of this build, having the weapon damage, so additional 1 to 8 radiant damage to fiends and undead. We have Radiant Smite as a reaction, and we have a critical reaction. And we also get to choose from a bunch of spells. Now, our weapon fighting style, we are going to do Great Weapon Fighting. When you roll a 1 or 2 on the damage die for an attack with a 2-handed melee weapon, that die is re-rolled once. Spells, it's kind of up to you here. I would do Searing Smite. I would take Cure Wounds for that healing ability. I would take Bless, because I think Bless is phenomenal. And possibly Shield of Faith. Okay, for level 3 we are sticking with Paladin. We have more level 1 slots available. Didn't mean to zoom in. Divine Health. So the divine magic flowing within you prevents disease from afflicting you, which is amazing. We also have access to things like Bane, and I think Bane is one of the best spells ever. We have Hunter's Mark, that's even more damage we can put on as a bonus action. And we have class actions, such as a Vow of Enmity. Gain advantage on attack rolls against the enemy. This lasts 10 turns, it is a bonus action, and it uses your Channel Oath charge. And we have Abjure Enemy. For an enemy, they have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, and they cannot move. Fiends and Undead have disadvantage on this saving throw. Very helpful against a lot of enemies in this game. Spell-wise, at this point I would add Rifle Smite. Possibly frightens your target, but have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, and they cannot move. Okay, level 4, we are sticking with Paladin. We're going to take a feat as opposed to an ASI. And in this case, we would like to take Sentinel. I think this is one of the better builds, also one of the best feats in the game. I put this on both of my party members. I put it on Jaheira and Shadowheart, and I found it very, very useful. Reasons for this are, we will have attacks against enemies that make an attack on one of our companions. Snare, so if we hit it, it can no longer move, which is really useful if an enemy is trying to move to someone else. We can keep it within melee of us. And Opportunity Attack, we have advantage on opportunity attacks. Combined, these 3 are just awesome. And for your spell here, I would take Thunderous Smite. Once again, a bonus action, pushes your target 3 meters away and possibly knocks it prone. Okay, level 5, once again sticking with Paladin for extra attack. Also, we get the extra benefits of having more spell slots. Extra attack, though, is phenomenal. And we have a whole bunch of other spells and stuff here. But Misty Step is a key thing, I believe. This is so useful for getting your character into the thick of battle, or helping them dance around the battlefield to really tank those attacks that might be going for other people. Okay, for your spell here, I would take Aid, heal your allies, and increase their hit point maximum by 5 HP. It's basically extra temporary hit points. This combined with a Cleric can... 5 hit points might not sound like a lot, but it can really make or change a battle. Especially if you can keep someone up and you don't need to use a turn to revive them or to lift them back up. 5 healing, I will happily take it at level 5. Okay, from level 6 we are actually going to multi-class, and we're going to dip into Sorcerer. Now, the class you pick for Sorcerer isn't too important. I would personally take Storm Sorcerer again, if you saw my previous build. But for spells, again, doesn't really matter what you take here, because we're not really going to be using the spells that often. So you could take Minor Illusion, that might come in handy. You could take Light, that might also come in handy. Maybe something like Dancing Lights and Blade Ward. Again, for your spells here, it doesn't really matter either. I would take False Life to gain 7 temporary hit points. And probably Thunder Wave, just because why not? But as I was saying, we want to take a subclass here. You can really pick anything, because we only really want this for the Sorcerer points. But I'll take Storm Sorcery, just for the benefit of being able to fly as a bonus action after the end of our turn without receiving opportunity attacks. Okay, and this is the benefit of going into Sorcerer. We have these sorcery points, which we can then use to create spell slots. That's the only really reason you're taking this. Once again, we will take something that we don't need to worry too much about. So we'll take Enhanced Sleep to help us get around the dance field, the battlefield. Okay, for this, again, it's not really that important. Extended spell, double durational conditions, summons and surfaces. Could go increase the range, careful, AoEs and stuff. Twins, so you can target more than one with spells. We'll take Twinned, and to be honest, this one doesn't matter, just take anything. Extended's fine. Okay, level 8, we are dipping into another class. We are taking the Cleric class. Once again, spells do not matter, just take whatever you feel like taking. But the point of this is War Domain, so we get War Priest. When you make an unarmed attack or weapon attack, you can spend a War Priest charge to make an additional attack as a bonus action. This increases our turn vitality, as well as gives us more attacks per turn. Also gives us access to Shield of Faith, which we already knew, and Divine Favour, which we already knew. So a lot of crossover, but extra attacks is what we're here for. You could also dip into Fighter theoretically for a few levels, but I would stick with Cleric and just get this one extra War Priest. For a spell, Healing Word, why not? And then we should round this class out with all Sorcerer. Once again, you can really pick anything here because you're not really going to be using it for abilities. I would take Knock because basically a free lockpick as long as you use a spell slot. And Quickened Spell. Spells that cost an action cost a bonus action instead. Very, very helpful, this one. Okay, Sorcerer level 4. We're here for the feat. Any spell, really. I would avoid Shocking Grasp just so you don't accidentally click it, because we want to use our Paladin abilities for our opportunity attacks. So something like Rare Frost. And once again, in this position, you can't really do anything wrong. Possibly Invisibility if you really wanted to. I would just take Magic Missile though. Why not? And for your feat, I would take Savage Attacker. When you make a melee weapon attack, you roll your damage twice and use the highest result. I would either take this, or I would personally take something like Tough. Your hit point maximum increases by 2 for every level you have gained. So that would be 24 extra hit points at the end of the turn. In late game though, I don't think 24 is too much of a difference. I think your better option is either having a higher AC or having a more higher damage output, which is why I would take Savage Attacker. And like I said, we're just going to keep going through and taking all of... We want more Sorcerer points and spell slots. Once again here, really take anything. We don't need Fly because we get that now with when we attack as a bonus action. So you could take Haste, I guess. Gaseous Form. I would take something like Expeditious Retreat. Just something nice and easy that you don't need to really worry about. And like I said, we're rounding this off with our level 6 in Sorcerer. Take Daylight. Now let's see how this looks in combat. Okay, so as you just saw, we got attacked. We are in the Lorocan fight again, and we're going to use our Sentinel ability. Okay, so we have done our Quickened Spell, and we are going to do something such as Blade Ward on ourselves. This now buffs us against piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage, and we can come down here. Now make sure you have all your reactions turned on for this to work. We have all of these here. Everything we possibly can. Okay, we are going to turn our Divine Favour on, so we get an extra 1 to 4 radiant damage. This is a possibility, however, I think using the extra bonus action as a attack is more worthwhile. And we're going to hit them with our Divine Smite. So we'll do it at level 1. In fact, no, we'll do it at level 5, so you can see the maximum damage. There you go, 41 points of damage, and we still have more attacks where we can continue throwing these Divine Smites in. And there you see. Okay, we are going to get into melee with this one here. Now, a normal attack just missed, amazingly, but we still have the option of hitting it with more smites. Okay, so we just hit that attack, and as you can see, we will now keep hitting it with some more Divine Smites, work through all our spell slots, with a huge amount of damage. And we chipped off most of their health within 3 rounds. Okay, so we are now in another fight. So to show off this build, we have a full enemy here. We will Misty Step as a bonus action, just to go here. And now what we can do is we can continue using our smite. So you'll see we've used all our big ones. And there we just did 45 damage, which is a huge amount. We can once again go back in. Even more damage. Okay, so we're now in the next round, and what our next plan here would be create spell slots. So let's say we spend 3 sorcery points to unlock a 2nd level spell slot. We can do that. That is all our sorcery points gone because we haven't rested between 2 battles. But that gives us another chance at a smite. And now you see we are against someone that has no armor on, they're wearing a robe. And we're going to see the output of damage we now do with our level 3 smites. Again, a huge amount of damage. 30 on the dot. Hit it now with a level 2, just see the difference. And you see we did the exact same amount of damage, so even when you go down in the spell slots, you can still do that maximum output of damage with this build. Now fortunately I am unable to show off the opportunity attacks as we haven't been able to use it so far, but I will show off some other little things you could do. So we could do a bonus action of Healing Word, say just to heal up Jaheira if she was really dying, and that still leaves us 2 attacks with spell slots we can use to expend on Divine Smite. And that is why this build is so overpowered. You can throw your Paladin Sorcerer into the Folly and just let them wail on them as long as they've got the Sorcerer points available and keep rebuffing those Divine Smites up, get their reactions. It's an incredible build. If you have enjoyed, please drop the episode a like. That would be amazingly. If you're new, you're not subscribed, and you'd like to, that would also be amazing. Let me know in the comments below what you would change about this build. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.